Crazy Moms. I want to say good morning. It's good to be able to at least talk to you in this format. I hope this finds you well, and really miss being together, miss seeing all the tables and all the women and all the babies and all your kids running around the courtyards, and miss really good breakfast casseroles and things like that. I've been trying to make this video and I keep getting phone calls or my phone dies, so this is like, I think, my second or third take, so let's see if we can get through this. We're in about week 4, and it's been up and down. I'm sure you all are aware. The first 2 weeks were really a little bit scary and hard. My son came home from Idaho sick, and then he later tested positive for the virus, so that kind of rocked our world a little bit and how we would go about living. So while everybody else was sort of, hunkered down and having fun and doing stuff, I was kind of scared, and I wasn't sure, what that meant for my husband and I if we got sick, or, things like that. Fortunately, right when he got home, we self-isolated him, and we're really good about washing our hands and not being around him and all that. So he has since recovered and is doing pretty good. He has some weird little symptomy things left, but overall is well, and he's allowed to come downstairs now. So thankful for that. But that sort of colored my first 2 weeks of this, and the news was very scary and just a lot of unknowns about how serious it was. And now, having kind of survived that, I feel a little bit better. But one area that I really had to focus on was not fear, but truth. And where I found the truth, of course, is God's Word. And the Psalms were a great place because the truth pops off the page. And so much of it is what our emotions are, our fear, David and the psalmist just really touch on everything that hits home with us. So I wanted to read a couple that were an encouragement to me. Psalm 57. Be gracious to me, God, be gracious to me, for I take refuge in you. I will seek refuge in the shadow of your wings until danger passes. I call to God Most High, to God who fulfills his purposes for me. He reaches down from heaven and saves me, challenging the one who tramples me. God sends his faithful love and truth. And then Psalm 61. The first part of that psalm is, God, hear my cry. Pay attention to my prayer. I call to you from the ends of the earth. When my heart is without strength, lead me to a rock that is high above me. For you have been a refuge for me, a strong tower in the face of the enemy. I will dwell in your tent forever and take refuge under the shelter of your wings. And then Psalm 62. I am at rest in God alone. My salvation comes from him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I will never be shaken. And I encourage you to, pick up your journal and write your own psalms that cry out to God, and be honest with what's going on in your heart. And David was honest with what was going on. Not all his psalms were about God being a stronghold to him. Some of them were, why are you doing this to us? So I encourage you to just be honest with where you are in your faith and struggles right now, and seek truth in the Word. And that way, because these are historic times, and I think what you write and what you see will be amazing years from now, when you can look back and see how God shaped the world with this trial. Also, I'm fortunate, I don't have my little kids running around, So I have more space and time to journal, to pick up a fun hobby, to do things like that. I didn't feel that way the first 2 weeks. I was like, what? Hobbies? Like, I'm just trying to survive and stay alive and keep my family healthy. So now I'm able to, do some fun things. And one thing that I found joy in is we had to, for Sunday school, we're still teaching, and I thought it would be fun to do a flannel graph. So my husband and I got really into making these little movies for the Sunday school class. So we made one for Easter, and then we're making another for Passover. And then who knows, how many more we'll make, but however long this is. But it's fun, and it's something that we can do together and collaborate on, and share what we like, our creative juices. Another area is I've learned to bake bread, not very well because I'm not a good baker, but I am a good cook, but not a very good rule follower in the kitchen. So baking is all the rules. So, and I'm not very patient, but I'm figuring that out. So I'm really hoping that you guys get a chance to take advantage of this time and find something that you have fun doing. One area that I was thinking that you could, might encourage you, is to, as Erin Kunkel shared when she spoke, is be a student of your kids during this time, in this unhurried time where you have the time, and you might be homeschooling your older kids, or you have your little ones around, but just see and observe in this space and time what they delight in, what are their strengths, what do they really gravitate towards and enjoy that you can continue to add to their life, or see areas that maybe they have weaknesses and are struggling kind of in this unhurried time. So I hope that is something you can do. And one thing I was thinking of, another encouragement would be, I tended to, as a mom, in the home is my domain. I kind of set the schedule and how we go about doing things. So I would hope that maybe during this time, if your husbands are home, allow them to kind of figure it out on their own and come up with things that they can do on their own without having to be your way, if that makes sense. So, because sometimes they can come up with a more fun way to do it, and without having to be on a big schedule. This might be the time to let them do that, and let go of some of those controls. So I encourage you to just use this time to stop and breathe. Don't overwatch the news. Check in every once in a while. I really look forward to when we can get back together again. And if it's not this blessing year, I hope maybe it's this summer we can have a fun reunion, because we all throw really good parties. So I hope that will happen soon. Praying for you that this can be a time of renewal amidst this time of fear, and that we can be a light to those around us, that we can be people of prayer during this time, and that we can just enjoy the simple things that we have around us, which is pretty much your families right now. So I pray that God will bless you and will keep you and keep you well, and that we will see each other real soon.